Listen, I've never had any problem expressing my opinions, but what we're doing here is bigger than that. These are conversations that need to be had in an unfiltered way. Drag racing's all I've ever done. It's all I care to do. I respect the history, I appreciate how far we've come, but I want more for this sport, and I'll fight for it. It's uncut, it's unfiltered. This is the show of shows. The biggest names in drag racing. No holds barred. This is the great American motorsport. Drag racing. Prove me wrong. I'll wait. Hey gang, Wes Buck here, Drag Illustrated Magazine, checking in. It is Wednesday, February 11th, 2026. Hope you're doing well out there. Of course, thank you guys for joining us so much from the bottom of my heart. And everybody here at Drag Illustrated, we appreciate and are honored that we get to have you guys join us around Ye Drag Racing Water Cooler every Wednesday afternoon to talk all things about the sport we love so much. Remember to click like, click share, click subscribe, help us spread the gospel of drag racing and join this movement to take our sport to the proverbial next level. We got a hell of a show for you guys today. Of course, we're going to be joined, which I think is going to become something of a tradition, by the reigning, defending World Series of Pro Mod champion Steve King. We're also going to hear from the March Meet's own Blake Bowser in just a few short minutes, and then we're going to wrap the show up with the new shoe at John Force Racing, taking over the reins for Austin Prock, the one and only Jordan Vandergriff. But first, I've got to introduce my cohorts here. The dirty dozen, or the dirty, what, 2 or 3, I guess it would be. JT, Mike, what's up, boys? We doing good?
We have a dozen. That'd be a hell of a show.
It would be.
We could
JT,
barely deal with
Mike,
just 2.
What's with the hair, JT? Are you wearing the Wes Buck? Did you change your hair?
Oh no. Yeah, I did change my hair, but it's not the Wes Buck.
What is it then?
Let's give a spin around. Let's look at
let's
that.
give a 360. It is to the Wes Buck. That's my haircut.
No, man,
that's
it's not.
That's
it's not
like
as pointed as
the
yours.
generic.
Bro,
what do you call that?
Blake,
what do you call that haircut?
Bro, you're twinning. We're twinning. Yeah, kind of close. Well, you just realized
mine's black,
brother. Mine's a little gray. Shut up. That's fine. I got some stress in my life. I don't just play golf and drink beer. You know, I mean, I got to work for a living out here.
Hey, Chadwick's in the chat. He said it's the Chadwick. Man, Chadwick is on another level. Chadwick is like a level 10 of the JT cut for sure.
Turn your head. Bro, you look just like me. It's not quite as good. Close.
Well, hey, gang. Today.
No solo. No. The 2000s faux hawk, somebody said. The 2000s? Dude,
I don't know. I was trying something different.
It's timeless, man.
And it's trying something a little different.
Yeah,
but it seems like I get it cut. No matter what I do, I still fix it the same. You ever do that?
Yeah, I do that. I'm bad about that.
Yeah, I'm like 20 years strong on this exact haircut. So, yeah, man, well, hey, man, congrats. You're really looking good. Proud of you. Big things coming for JT Hudson. There's no doubt.
I figured if you need to stunt,
he's doing more sales.
I've been practicing my clap.
That's what this is. This is a reflection of your sales effort.
Yeah, it's totally. He's killing it with sales. So, I mean, it might be part of it.
Oh my God, business is booming around here at Drag Illustrated now that JT got my haircut. You know, it's like I wish we would have done this years ago, truly. And can someone turn the audio down in my PA, or the music down? It's blowing my eardrums out. So on the 1s and 2s back there, I appreciate it, guys. Hell of a show today. I know we've got to get right into it. We're almost we're a minute away from being like right on schedule. One of the most iconic events, honestly, in the whole drag racing scene, the March Meet. I mean, I don't know that there are 2 words that resonate with drag racers or drag racing fans the way March Meet does. This is an iconic event, one of those events that has taken on a life of its own. It's something that's happened in a multitude of different ways, but I think it's the rich tradition. I think it's that heritage. I think it's the West Coast. I think it's the weather. I think it's racing on the movie set, as I always like to call it out there. There's so many things about it. I'm super excited. First ever appearance on the show. Let's give it up for the one and only Blake Bowser. What's going on, Blake?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Good.
Yeah, March meat. That's why I have it trademarked, by the way.
Smart decision, man. Really.
Yeah. No, we're looking good, man. Excited. We're 3 weeks away. That's what's. I'm like, oh, we got to get busy here. No, we've been busy and we're ready for it. So we're excited.
No, it really is an incredible event, and I honestly we talk a lot about this because now that we have for the last 10 or so years gotten into the event space ourselves, we've spent a lot of time studying these various events that happen in the drag racing community and what makes them stand out, what makes them cut through the noise. And obviously there's a lot of different ways to skin that cat, but I think let's just start with what I think is kind of the brick and mortar piece of the March meet magic is just this rich history and tradition. I mean, how long has this race been going on?
68 years now. 1959.
Looking at my notes. 68 years. I
wasn't there for the first one, but
I'm not shocked that you missed that first one. But tell us a little bit about for maybe those that, Drag Illustrated, we have a really strong contingent of Door Slammer drag racing fans. We certainly do our level best to cater to the Nitro and Nostalgia Nitro and the Big Show Nitro cars as much as we possibly can. But admittedly, perhaps a little bit beyond the scope of our typical viewership. So I'd love you to give us a little bit of a primer, if you will, on just kind of maybe how we got to here. I know that that's something that you likely can't encapsulate in a few minutes, but if you could just kind of run us through it, I think people would enjoy hearing it.
So the first event, like I said, was 1959. The facility, Famoso Dragstrip, was founded by the Bakersfield Smokers. They opened in 54. Now, there was talk, of course, East Coast, West Coast on what guys are running. And, of course, we don't have, today we have the internet. We can verify it like that. So, you had to rely on printed materials, right, that came out once in a while. So the big thing that put it on the map, 59, was the first one, and the Bakersfield Smokers paid Don Garlitz to come out, make an appearance, because they both were bragging what they were running, and they had no proof of each other, so they wanted to see it. So they literally used Ed Iskandarian. We just lost him this week, so God rest him. He held the money. Garlitz came out and actually promptly got his butt kicked. These guys were out here using superchargers. He'd never used one, so he went after that and got a supercharger on his car, and the rest is history. We all know who Don Garlitz is. So, and it's been happening continuously ever since. Now, obviously, the track has gone through different ownerships and that sort of thing. I've been out there for, 50 years now. My first job was selling programs there. But I was there at the March meet, seeing what this thing is, understanding the importance of it, seeing, the mongooses, the snakes, the Moldownies, the Garlits come through there. And that was my red carpet, right? For going to the Oscars, people stand outside and watch the stars come in. That was me. I was there selling programs, and I'm watching these guys come in going, that snake, that's mongoose. Oh my gosh, so it hooked me early on. And that's what I try and replicate. I want the fans to come feel that red carpet, right? Want them to get there early, come see the guys coming in. And believe me, you mentioned nitro. We burn plenty of nitro here. The track, the event was founded, survives on nitro. We didn't observe the nitro ban that took place late 50s, early 60s, I believe it was. Famoso didn't observe it. So if you want to run nitro, you had to come to Bakersfield. So that kind of got us going, and it's just been happening ever since.
That tell us about that, opting not to participate in the nitro. Is that to me just set that if there was a way to describe drag racing, it's we opted not to participate in the nitro ban. Tell us about that decision and what that looked like back then.
I mean, that was, again, before me, but that's what gave it the outlaw feel. And you guys, we know the word outlaw in drag racing. There's a lot of different segments that are considered outlaw. So, that's what it was. I mean, guys were wanting to burn it and wanting to run it, and it became a safety issue. So NHRA stepped in and just said, no, we can't do it. It didn't last very long, but I think because it didn't last very long because guys just worked their way around it, right? They did a workaround. So, certainly we are all about safety, and we have, all the features there that protect these guys when they do burn nitro. But, Yeah, I think that's just cool to hang our hat on. Famoso is an outlaw track, really, and we kind of built ourselves on that, and just sort of we celebrate that twice a year at the Good Vibrations March Meet. Sorry, shameless plug there for Good Vibrations, and also the Hot Rod Reunion. We come back twice a year and do the same thing twice a year, and we celebrate that history and that outlaw feel, and we try and keep the facility. If you walk in there or drive in there, it looks and feels like 1970 all over again. We're a throwback facility. We have all the modern conveniences though, aluminum grandstands, all that kind of stuff. The track surface is absolutely perfect. All of our equipment is up to date, rotators, track drags, all that stuff, traction compound, the whole thing. But we want that feeling to be like you're stepping back in the day, right? So that's kind of what we're hanging on to, and we're sort of living that outlaw approach, to this day.
Dude, Blake, those are like, that's music to my ears. One of the sentiments I share often on this show is just that I think some bands sound better in a honky tonk. Yeah, and drag racing is that band. I mean, I just feel like, even honestly, I've been blessed to go to a ton of different drag races over the years, and all the big shows, the NHRA shows and all that stuff. And there have been times when I'm like, this feels like it would be better in a smaller, more intimate venue.
For sure.
And and that's no knock against the Taj Mahals that exist in our space, like the Z-Maxes, the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Love those places, and I think there's a need for them. But it does feel sometimes like, man, if we're leaning in to our sports identity, it's these throwback facilities that really are the match made in heaven. One of the other things that you guys hang your hat on, which I think is probably, positively received by the masses based on what I've heard from NHRA, is that you guys have hung your hat on quarter mile racing and maintain the quarter mile distance. I mean, obviously I know you don't got like quote unquote big show cars that, this is geared towards a nostalgia nitro funny car program.
Right.
Nonetheless, how important has that 1,320 feet been to the legacy at Bakersfield?
That's in all of our marketing efforts. I mean, our commercial, our radio, our TV, everything says quarter mile drag racing like it used to be. We follow that. We are actually the only track in California that runs cars to a quarter mile. So, actually, exception of Reading, they're considering going 1,000 feet this year. But so if you want to see quarter mile drags in California, guess where you got to go? You got to go to Bakersfield. You got to go to Famoso. So that's a tradition we're going to try and hang on to as long as we can. Again, that's how it used to be, and we're trying to celebrate that in today's world. So taking today's conveniences and all of our equipment, but we're running it old school, and quarter mile hopefully stays.
No, I surely hope so. Mike, go ahead.
Isn't it crazy that is the last track running quarter mile in California? Because I mean, that's what it was all about.
Pretty scary.
And really that was the mecca of NHRA and all these nitro classes, all these things we talk about, and how much it's changed. And you talked about the history and the tradition and everything. You guys are hanging your hat on that, obviously. Yeah. But an event that's this long running, how do you innovate year to year, or what changes do you bring year over year, and what do you have maybe possibly that you're changing or is new in store for 2026?
Yeah, we always try and do a little wrinkle here and there, whether it be booking entertainment or, obviously we can book the jet cars, the all that kind of stuff. Some stuff we throw out. We're trying to reintroduce the facility to a younger kids, which I think everyone's doing that, right? I mean, who's not trying to bring in the next generation, right? Yeah. So 15 and under free out there for the March meet. I see a lot of 15-year-old kids with mustaches, but you know what? That's cool. Let them in. So,
it happens now, man.
We're just trying to. I'm sorry.
I said those mustaches come in earlier these days.
Yeah. But we're just trying to sell the experience, and we're keeping it old school. We continually keep the pits wide open. We've got an amazing vendor row, swap meet, car show. That's all included. So we keep modifying those and kind of bringing in new aspects of the event and those different areas. So one ticket gets all of that. You don't need to sit in the grandstands all day, which gets old. We all know that. So you can go right behind the grandstand, see the car show, go down the track, see the swap meet, go back out in the pits. There's a vendor row. All the cars are on display. And I mean, and the racers are so accommodating. They realize where they're at, what they're celebrating, and I mean, they let kids walk in the pits, get in the cockpits. It's just a great throwback experience. We just try and we want to innovate. We don't want to get too far ahead of the way it used to be. You know?
Yeah, it's like a festival type of atmosphere, and it's funny. You know, Wes talked about the movie set, and it's obviously picturesque, and the cars are beautiful, and the you know, the nitro and everything. And we actually are putting together our photo annual right now. It's about to go to press. And Wes, you probably agree. We start going through the photos, and we're like, "Oh, that's for March Meet. That's for March Meet." And we end up with this whole gob of photos that are for March Meet because these guys, you know, obviously all the talented photographers out there on the West Coast and the guys that go to these events, the media you have out there, but it just makes for such a picturesque setting that we end up getting a ton of photos, and we're like, all right, we've got so many from March Meet, we gotta cut these down and spread it out. So it really is just like
we appreciate
it's like
that.
It's a really beautiful way to start the season, I think.
It's real drag racing. I mean, it's real legitimate drag racing to a quarter mile, and you know, when you go a quarter mile on nitro, I mean, things happen, and these guys are laying it all out there, and we do see the bodies get blown off and the things happen. So that just comes with quarter mile on nitromethane. You got two ingredients there that can cause stuff to happen. So which as a result, you get some great photos, but you don't want to see too much carnage, but it's always kind of lurking there. So I think 1,000 foot can correct a lot of that stuff, but not in my day.
Not in.
I think we do that.
No, I think that's important. One of the things that, like you mentioned it a moment ago, but in an era where all of us are kind of chasing what's next or the next hot thing, like, what does it feel like for you, and how significant do you believe it is to our sport to like celebrate these moments and these eras in time that really made drag racing what it is today?
Yeah, I mean, stop and smell the roses once in a while, right? Don't forget where we came from and who helped us get here. And that's what we try and do a lot is, I mean, the cars are doing all the innovating and going quicker, faster, all that, that the script writes itself, right? So, it's just important for us to stop, press that pause button, and just celebrate where we used to be. Now, again, it's not a throwback in racing. These cars are contemporary in every way. All of our hot rod cars, our gassers, all of our index cars. I mean, they are purpose-built contemporary cars. I mean, they are just great to look at. It's a living museum out there at the track. So you want to see a performance. You want to see all these elapsed times a mile per hour, but we got to be careful of going too far and making it unreachable. So we joke, when you walk in those gates, act like it's 1970 and forget about, maybe you're losing your job, your wife hates you, your daughter's mad, whatever's going on in your world. Just walk in those gates, and we ask this of racers, spectators, crew, employees, just let it go for a few days. Just have some fun. We can't let the inmates run the asylum, but let's give them a weekend off.
Hey, that's great advice. That is fantastic advice. We need to get signage made for World Series of Pro Mod that says basically the same thing, right? I mean, we say that a lot, and this is obviously serious business, but these events and drag racing, it's supposed to be fun. And if you're not there to have fun and you're not having fun, you're probably doing something wrong. So
you're doing the wrong thing.
Well said there. And I agree 100%.
That's like the pass fail for us. Like, we ask ourselves and we ask the people involved, like, frequently, like, are you having fun? Because I mean, let's be honest, nobody's getting rich out here. We're not curing cancer. Drag racing is something that we get to do. And I think that sometimes that gets lost on us, that it's like, hey, we're so fortunate to get to go play with our cars and be around our buddies, people that share our passion and share a lot of our interest in life views, world views. It's like, this is such a special thing. Let's not get bogged down in being mad about your window net being out of date or whatever the case may be. Like, those things are
totally. Totally. And even when the racing comes to an end, it's all about the celebration. You can, I've always said this, you can walk in that gate, buy a $40 ticket, which is what it costs for one day to get in for the March Meet. and you could be fed and find a beverage anywhere you want, and then stay for people are so accommodating and so open. The pits were wide open. We've gone before to check the cars, and well, no, the car's still in the trailer, but barbecue's going. You want a burger? I mean, they're buying into the moment, and that's what's so cool about it. And at night, the bands start playing. Maybe a few fireworks get shot off, and that kind of stuff. So, but everyone's buying into the celebrating the moment, and just stopping and not forgetting where we are. And we're not getting rich doing this. I mean, I could have found a lot more lucrative careers, believe me, but it just, thank God my wife is the steady breadwinner, and I love her for that. Thank you so much, hon. Yeah. But she lets me go out there, and my office is 100-acre drag strip. So, well, and I should say, it used to be. Now I'm actually as of last year, I don't operate Famoso anymore. When I took over the hot rod reunion for NHRA 2 years ago, I realized that, and the loss of my dad in 24, I had to kind of figure some things out, and really, because the March meet and the reunion have gotten so big, I dedicate year round just to those two races. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to give the track the attention that it needed. We want to keep it upgraded and maintained, but yet still celebrate that past. So we brought Tim Huddleston, who used to have Irwindale Dragstrip, is now running Famoso, and I get to come back twice a year and put on probably the two baddest drag races in California. So that's always fun.
No, it's awesome, man. I mean, so tell us, like, we're 3 weeks out, like you mentioned, NHRA as well is headed into their 75th anniversary season. I actually saw a report that Bobby Bennett put on plus.com earlier this week. Mike, did you see that, talking about these events happening? Like, personally, I think they're on different sides of the country. I don't know.
Having the same day.
And I'm sure there was some sleep lost over that. Like, I'm not trying to come to the defense of the NHRA, but I feel like sometimes I have to. But I mean, you obviously work hand in hand with these folks. I'm sure that wasn't any sort of like intentional happening, right? I mean,
well, let me say this. I've said this for a couple years now. If anyone in NHRA is listening, Gainesville is happening too early. It used to be mid-March, and they moved it about a week earlier. And I think you've seen that actually affect that event. It's been some crazy weather. It's been cold. It's been like a monsoon. It's like, just that week, I think. And I'm sure there's some smart people that make those decisions, and there's a reason for it. But in my opinion, it needs to move back a week. Gainesville does. And I don't really know the decision around that, but now they're on top of the March meet. But again, like Wes was saying, two totally different markets and audiences, sides of the country. Hopefully that doesn't affect you.
The only thing where it hurts us is the guys that want to come back, the Caps, the Pedregons, the Snakes, that kind of stuff. They can't come. And that's, but we're not, I talked to Bobby, about, he's like, it's on top of it. I said, I know, Bob, but we can't dwell on that. We got to focus on what we are able to do. And that's run quarter mile and celebrate, all that. So I repeat myself, but we just got to focus on what we're able to do and not dwell on who can't come right now. It's still going to be, it's nothing more perfect when it's 70 degrees out here in California, and it's 17 back east or 20 degrees back east, and not in Florida, but and we've got flowers blooming, and spring is here, and we're running nitro cars.
Well, and I'll tell you,
great feeling to have.
Yeah, me and Wes have been to the Gator Nationals where it was like, what was it? It was like 40 something degrees or something.
Or colder.
It was
I don't wish that upon anybody, but it's a really good feeling. We're out here hauling ass, and we're getting guys from back east saying, man, it's 20 here. So we're like,
well, and I'll tell you guys,
fuel cars.
Like, to be honest with you, I think that, I'm not, this may be a touch of a stretch, but I'm going to go with it anyways, that it's like, as bad as it was to see, or sad, I think is the better word, to see John Force, officially hang it up. I can't help but see some silver lining in the fact that the door is now wide open for whoever's next. So I think that would probably be my argument in this whole situation, is that, hey, so Ron Capps can't come, so Cruz Pedregon can't come. Who else can? Who can be here? Because there are a world of people that I think have name value, who have made significant contributions to our sport, that could make it. You know what I mean? So it's,
absolutely.
Perhaps in those guys' absence, maybe one of your guys that are there every year after year after year, is going to have that moment where they don't got to compete against Cruz or Ron this year. They don't got to race against a guy that's going to see the tree 6,000 times in 2026, right? Like, there's probably, I get it, it's a double-edged sword, but I think that there may be some positives that come from it, man. And but I'm curious, like, where do you guys feel like you have to take, some ownership, I guess, of just where drag racing has arrived, right? Like, I feel like anybody that I talk to about the glory days or the golden ages of drag racing, a few moments go by before I hear the word Bakersfield, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, like, do you feel like some sense of ownership? And I mean, like, kind of on behalf of the March meet and on behalf of Bakersfield Famoso, just for where this sport has come, or where it's arrived?
Certainly, when we first started doing it, my dad and I, back in 2007, we brought it back in house to the track. It used to be done before that by good guys, and before that, it was done by the facility. And we were always out there for all the owners that had it. So sure, we're advancing it. We're making it bigger and better than it used to be. But this thing started long before me. It's hopefully going to go long after me. So I'm just carrying the torch right now. You know, I mean, it's a 68-year-old tradition that I want to keep going for a long time. So yeah, I've got a lot of pride in hosting and putting it together and pulling this thing off. But it's not just me. You know, it takes a village. You know, it takes a lot of guys. And I was talking to Brian Loans yesterday, and I got a lot of guys that are just insane for what they do. They show up all just to work the event, and they're working these events every weekend somewhere, and they just can't wait to get here. And you know, they don't get paid a lot, but they just love coming to it. So
isn't that a crazy thing?
Pulling this thing off? Yeah,
I think about that a lot. The amount of people that perhaps don't donate their time, but damn near donate their time
pretty much
to these to these events. I mean, I can't count the number of drag races that are like prominent happenings in this space that likely would not exist without the passionate group of people that are committed to their execution. Yeah. You know,
I mean, a hotel room and a box lunch during the day goes a long ways for these guys. And that's what they're there for. They're just there to experience the whole thing as well. You know, these same guys will be working the weekend after Bakersfield at Pomona for the divisional. They'll be there for the national. And they just can't wait to come work this race. It's just because there's just so much going on. So many things to do. Even like I said, when we get done racing, we're done early enough. We can't run that late because due to weather, it cools off real fast there at this time of year. So we stay and have fun out in the pits and go eat and barbecue and all that. So and they're there for that. You know, it's you take like the zoo at Brainerd and just the whole place is like that. So
hey, JT,
everyone's having a good time.
Man, book your trip.
Yeah, buddy.
That's right up your alley.
You better be heading west for the Gold Rush, brother. Because
tell us. Just to wrap it up, tell us where can we get tickets, the date, any other details for anybody wanting to check this thing out.
Dates. The race is in 3 weeks, March 5 through 8. Real simple. Marchmeet.com. Jump on there. There's a phone number you can call. We answer the phone, myself and Cleet Norris, my right-hand man. I'm putting this race on. You'll hear from us on the phone. If you don't, we'll get back to you. You can email us. You can jump right in there, buy tickets through the ticket links. You can buy tickets at the gate. Gates open 8 a.m. every day. Again, $40 for a daily ticket, or $150. You can come on Wednesday and stay for the test and tune. Thursday is an afternoon 4-hour nitro test session, 2 to 6 p.m. Friday starts qualifying runs, run till Sunday, and pass out the trophies on Sunday night at the top end. So pretty affordable, and again, kids are free. So
it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Keep up the good work, Blake. We're proud of you, and we're grateful to have you in this space. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you, and we'll be watching, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me come on. It's been a big help. Thank you.
Anytime, brother.
Thanks, Blake.
Talk to you soon.
Right,
ladies and gentlemen, Blake Bowser. Dude, we had a banger of a show today, I think. I mean, it was already off to a good start. Let me take a quick second, Mike, before we dive into our next guest. I gotta make sure people know what's up. Gang, I want to remind you guys that each and every episode of the Wes Buck Show is made possible by way of our friends at Stroud Safety. Stroud Safety is known for their top quality racing safety equipment, from drag chutes and seatbelts to fire suits and blankets, all 100% made in America. Log on to stroudsafety.com and to make sure you tell them we sent you. Also, huge shout out to our friends at Stroud Safety for being the official safety solution of our races, the Drag Illustrated Winter Series presented by J&A Service, and of course the fast approaching big one, the one they all want to win, the Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod presented by Redline Oil. And I guess that's a fantastic segue, Michael. I mean, what an incredible segue. Yeah. I worked up. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, he's World Series of Pro Mod champion, but he's damn near a professional podcaster now. I mean, look at the setup this guy's got in the, if you see it on the show every week, man, this guy, he stepped it up.
Dude, I don't know if there's anybody I could be, I don't know, more proud of what has happened in the wake of winning the 2025 Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod than I am with this gentleman and what he's accomplished over the course of the last few years. I feel like I hear some police sirens in the background. I don't know if they're coming for me. Did somebody find Nancy Guthrie? Is that what this is?
Is that an alert?
Yeah.
We needed that sound a minute ago. Yeah, when we were talking about
somebody's got to
intro for Steve.
I want to put this out to the world. Somebody's got to find this lady. I'm struggling to sleep at night. I've
leave it to Wes. Anything that happens in the world, Wes takes personal ownership of, and now this is his mission. Everything
I almost drove out
secondary.
The first thing I did was call Jim Hughes at Tucson Dragway, and I said, "Bro, where is this lady? Like, we've got to find her. She's 84. She doesn't have the medication. She's got to pick." JT with the gunshot. Oh, holy moly! I was hoping.
No, let's not go there.
But anyways, I digress. I am very curious if anybody has any thoughts or has seen her recently. Please let me know, or call the FBI. But I've got a little bit.
Don't call Wes. Call the FBI.
Yeah, call the FBI.
That's the official statement from Drag Illustrated.
Okay, call the FBI. Then text me because I want to know what's up. Okay, so this is a big one, and I was going to do a big thing and kill the lights and have Sandstorm by Darude played. You know the song, right?
You're the only person in the world that knows the name of that song. You just have to play it. No one knows that no one knows there's even a name for that. You just
know the song.
No, right? I know the song. I don't know who sang it and the name of it.
Well, I just informed you.
All right.
Well, yeah, that'll work. Ladies and gentlemen, the reigning, defending, undisputed World Series of Pro Mod champion, the man, the myth, the legend, Steve King.
What's up, guys? What the hell's up?
What's up, big dog?
My ugly ass mug on Wes Buck Show for the third time.
Oh, is this three? Is this three?
I think two or three times since
three. Yeah. Shit, brother, you're making your rounds. I gotta ask, what has it been like? I mean, obviously, we're about a year removed from that fateful weekend in Bradenton, Florida, where you etched your name into the drag racing history books as the winner of the 2025 World Series of Pro Mod. Climbed a mountain few have climbed, and no one has ever climbed twice. I'm curious, you like JT or Mike said, you're damn near a full-time content creator at this point. You're on every podcast under the sun. Boost and Bullshit has taken off. Shout out to Jason Harris, yourself, of course, and Jess Malante.
Jess is working y'all hard.
Yeah, Jess is wearing y'all out.
She's your manager. She's your full-time manager.
I'm sitting here getting text messages right now. What to say?
She's coaching you. Yeah, she's coaching you through the whole show.
You know who she is? You're Brock Lesnar. She's Paul Heyman. Anybody else a pro wrestling fan? She's your manager. We need to get her a suit jacket and have her run into this, into the middle of the track and hit somebody on the other team with a steel
reference
chair.
Day for Wes.
She does do some pushing, but she does do a great job. She does.
Yeah, she does do a great job, man. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, man. But what has this whole year been like? I mean, those of us that were paying attention to the sport of drag racing obviously knew who Steve King was for years and years and years and years and years. But I think this racing career of yours has undoubtedly taken on a whole new life in 2025 and here as we head into 2026. What has that whole experience been like?
Oh, it's been a whirlwind. I mean, 12 months in here, we're getting ready to go back to the World Series again. And we're the reigning champ, which is unbelievable in one aspect, but the amount of publicity that brings to you as a driver and a team for pilot racing is far more. I mean, we've won a lot of races, but to win that race really puts you on the map. And then along comes Boost and Bullshit, which me and Jason do. And I never knew the internet was so powerful. We go out and I'm walking through the pits and we hear that all the time up and down through the pits from the fans. So what you guys do, and, it's unbelievable. And we go out there and win the biggest race in the world. And it just puts you out there on a pedestal that you can't even describe. I mean, for real, I don't even know how to even say for 12 months, you can say you're the champ and you go into this deal and you beat the 80 best cars in the world. That's saying something.
It is, man. And I tell you, sometimes I don't know that any of us really spend enough time. I kind of, it's hard for me because at times I'm like, okay, Wes, don't be like braggadocious. Don't be like obnoxious about this stuff. But as I labor over it and like really think about it, there's really never been, Brian Lone said it best. There is no historical precedent for what we are seeing right now with the Winter Series. Like this collection of talent, this collection of cars. Like, I mean, we just had Blake Bowser on here from the March meet. God bless, the 64 car top fuel fields of the 60s or whatever. But like, those are cars that were separated by a second.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like at the most recently completed US Street Nationals presented by M&M Transmission, we had 64 Pro Mod cars separated by 1/10 of a second, 32 of them by a hair over 400ths of a second. I mean, I would argue that
16 by 200ths.
Yeah. I mean, to me, we have never seen this level of competition anywhere in the sport of drag racing. And I would argue in any motorsport. Like, I know that's a bold statement, but if you're really being honest about it, I mean, there are guys in F1 races that are 10 laps down by the time the race ends, right? There are teams that are so outgunned that they don't even have a chance. They start the race knowing they don't have a chance. But like what's happening in Bradenton with, specifically the World Series of Pro Mod, but the Winter Series as a whole, Pro Mod, this deal's hot like fire. I mean, every time I look at my phone, it just seems like there's another person that's showing interest or making a commitment or building a car. Like it is really, really incredible to me. And I just feel like blessed and lucky to have a front row seat to it, because this is absolutely insane what's going on right now.
I think it's the perfect storm. I've said it a couple other times. I mean, warm weather, wintertime, and pro mods. I mean, absolute perfect storm that you could throw out there that you guys put together. And then the amount of publicity with all the PR stuff going on that you guys are doing and across the entire world. I mean, just from winning that one race, I can't even go in my local place to eat without people talking about it. You make you feel like you're from Hollywood.
That's the best feeling and the best endorsement right there. I always think that when you're wearing a shirt or whatever, or you walk in somewhere and somebody recognizes your little niche or corner of the world that, where you've done something amazing. I feel like that you've, elevated to another level. So that whenever I hear someone say that, I love to hear that. That's like my favorite endorsement of what we do.
Yeah, I mean, my local people probably never even, they knew we raced and we knew we did well, but after winning that and the amount of from Flow Racing to being able to watch it on YouTube and all the channels they watch, I mean, literally now when we go to these races, I mean, we have local gun bashes and whatnot, and they put it up on the big screen when we're racing now. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, you mentioned all these different outlets that it's on, and I think we can break that news again here today. Of course, we had a great debut with Flow Racing simulcast on Amazon Prime Video on their 24/7 fast channel is what Flow Racing calls it on the live TV tab of Amazon Prime. Some stellar numbers that we had from that, and due to the success of that, that's actually going to be happening again for World Series of Pro Mod. All day Thursday qualifying, the first day of World Series is going to be on Amazon Prime. The entire day, all the way to the finish, however late that may go. So that's an exciting opportunity again to just, like you said, for people that don't subscribe to Flow or thinking about it, it's a great way for them to get a preview and then jump in with the full deal, but also just expose a lot of people that are in the mainstream and a lot of that mainstream audience, and just increase the accessibility of this thing to that wider audience is such, and just for you to be able to say, hey, mom or cousin or whatever, turn on Amazon Prime and I'm going to be on there. And it's so easy to do. We've never received such universal praise and feedback on something that we've done in partnership with Flow than we did with that Amazon Prime sort of test run that we did there. So we're running it back, doing it again for World Series of Pro Mod, and we're super excited about that.
I mean, we're talking to the tune of like 200,000+ people concurrently watching Pro Mod drag racing live. I mean, it is a historic happening. I mean, those numbers for something that was kind of, I won't say haphazardly, but, rapidly put together, didn't get a tremendous amount of, pre-promotion, which is something that we pride ourselves in doing. We didn't have the time to do as much as we would have liked to. And so we were going into that relationship with Amazon Prime, like kind of hoping for the best. And drag racing fans showed up and showed out. We had a lot of support. We had a lot of people sharing it on social, talking about it, taking pictures of the menu bar or the guide screen on Amazon Prime. And it seemed to cut through. And for me, that's to see a drag race, a pro mod outlaw 8th mile drag race, getting viewership numbers that are on par with like most motorsports programming, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking dirt track racing, your average IndyCar event. We're in that conversation at this point in time. And we're 2 years, 3 years, we're very early in this process. So who knows where this thing will be in the next 3 to 5 years. But I just really, I'm proud that our racers, because that's who this is for. I want our teams to be able to go seek sponsors and be able to go deliver real meaningful ROI to those sponsors and those partners and say, hey, look, what we're doing is being seen by millions of people. Like millions of people are following what's happening here. Hundreds of thousands are watching it unfold live. It's really incredible thing, man. And it's, I think you make a great point, Steve, in that we recognize that there are some boxes that we're ticking with this, is that we don't have any real, there's not competition. We've done this intentionally. Like, we don't want to compete with PDRA. We don't want to compete with NHRA Pro Mod. We don't want to compete with Midwest Drag Racing Series. We don't want to compete with iTrade. We want to leave everybody the time, and the ability to go pursue those points earning championship deals and tour around the country. We take advantage of this window of time that we have where there's not really anything else to do. We can focus the attentions of the masses on these 3 events, specifically the World Series of Pro Mod coming up in a few weeks, and take advantage of that lightning in a bottle. I mean, it is a perfect storm. And so long as the good Lord's willing, we're going to keep that storm rolling for as long as we possibly can. I'm like Blake Bowser. I want this to be, I want people to be putting the World Series of Pro Mod on long after I'm dead and gone.
Well, right now, the World Series of Pro Mod is the U.S. Nationals for NHRA. It's for what we do that, and I actually think it's for Pro Mod racing. It's even bigger. I mean, everyone across the world. I mean, even my local pubs and taverns, they put it on the big screen in there, and I'm just talking in my little town, right? But still, it's unbelievable that they do that, and they stop what they're doing and put it up on the screen when we start racing. And it's just last year when we run Stevie in the final, and they had it. They stopped the gun bash. The local pubs stopped and put it on the big screen. Everybody's got it up there. And, of course, after we won, we're coming back and everyone's texting me and they're sending me, videos of the big screen up and all that. I'm like, it's like Hollywood. It really is.
Dude, I mean, and that's what we all want. I mean, I think that's some of the magic to this is we all just want someone to notice or someone to care. Like, I know I was actually on a podcast last night and was talking about how I learned at an early age, like how much a little bit of validation can do for a racer, right? Like, because we know the realities of this sport. Like, the economics of our sport in many ways are broken, but they've been broken for 100 years. This is not new news. This is, and I always say volunteers can't be victims, right? There's not a gun to anybody's head to roll through those gates. You know what you're getting into. You're probably going to have to spend a lot of money to pull this off, right? So there's no sense in complaining about it, but a little bit of validation really does go a long way. And I think that's something that we take personal pride in, Steve, is just making sure that when you win one of our races, you never forget that. Yep. Right. And you are going to be celebrated. You are going to see your name in lights. You are going to get treated like a rock star and a celebrity, because I believe that's what you are. And by God, if it's the last thing I do, we will prove that true. Yep. So it's great to know that it's working, bro. But let's talk about the level of competition. Obviously, we upset the apple cart a couple of weeks ago, made some rule tweaks or whatever. We feel very justified in it. I mean, I think that I saw a comment here, and this is worth airing out. Somebody, I'm going to scroll up. Okay. The elephant in the room. Yeah. I heard rumor that Mark Mickey was switching to a Harts charger. Can you gentlemen confirm or deny that rumor? I can 100% confirm that rumor that Mark Mickey has indeed made the switch from Harts.
Well, he posted that. Yeah. He posted it. And then there's more to come. And we saw a bunch of cars switch from turbo to Harts charger before US Street. Now we're going to see even more. And as your flathead compatriot on your Boost and Bullshit show, I was thought we might have to like get a mop or something for his tears during that show, but he made it. Yep. He made it through it. But you see this combination that's really coming on strong. Guys are switching to it left and right. I don't see anybody switching to a screw blower, and I don't see anybody switching to a turbo. Definitely don't see anybody switching to a nitrous car. But we see everybody making the move from other combinations to centrifugal.
And if it wasn't advantageous, that would not be the case.
For sure. But we look back at Steve, and we talk about the reigning defending World Series champion. And Stevie did win the last race with a screw blower. And screw blower has had success during eliminations at our events, but never has qualified number one. But just going into this event with your combination, your team, your tuner, your setup that's been so tried and true and proven during this event, what's the vibe? What's the feeling with the changes, with the rule change, with what you guys have been running leading up to this event? How good are you feeling about coming back on this show in a few weeks as the repeating World Series of Pro Mod champion?
Yeah, let's just be honest. I mean, we're going down there with 80 cars coming. I mean, qualifying is a feat in itself, period. I don't care who you are. You one broken part or one misrun away from being behind and never catching back up in order to get in. And then there's so many cars in these lines, if you're not at the right spot, if your car is not capable of being a top 20 car, you're hoping you're running when the conditions are the best, which is either early morning or late in the evening. If you get caught late in the first session or early in the second session, that could be the difference from qualifying. I mean, it really can. And if you get in this field, you can win it. I walked right through there. And, John Salemi, I mean, I'm confident. He's won it 2 years in a row. He carried me I drove okay. Did I drive great? No, but I drove okay as far as I'm concerned. But these cars have gotten so tight. When you say, okay, we're talking a 30 on the tree, but really 30 anymore is not cutting it. It's just not cutting it. You got to be a superior driver. I mean, Stevie talked about it, and these other, now I think you got to be 20 or better, or, you really need to be 10. These guys are double ball, 00 and 015 every run, just like bracket racers. And you got to go home and practice. You got to be on it. You got to clear your mind when you pull up there. And if you're thinking about work or anything else, you're already behind.
It really is incredible. I mean, you're still feeling confident as ever with what you're going into. You don't feel that the centrifugal has an advantage, or that you're kind of behind the 8 ball going into this.
I think they still have a bit of an advantage. We'll see what this rule change did. I mean, that's just my opinions, and it's worth what I think. That's it. I don't get into who makes the rules. I try not to argue them as much. Jason has more technical stuff than I do, but you know what? I got John Salemi in my corner, so I'm confident. I really am. He's showed he gives me a quality car to go out there and race with, and one that we can race. And
that's what it's all about. I mean, and the field's so tight anyway, and the changes are so small. And like you said, it really can come down to weather, where you are in the qualified field. Do you step up to the plate and hit your home run during that night session where you have to? All those things can how well did you test? A lot of those things can come into play also. So, it's fun. And we had Stevie on here last week, and he was kind of, loving to see the haters and the complaining and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I honestly don't expect the field to change at all. Hardly. I expect to see the same spread, the same, diversity of power adders across the field. And I really think that it's going to end up playing out exactly like we've seen the previous 2 events.
I agree. I don't see much change in performance from what went down. I mean, I guess the one combo took a little more hit than the other one, but it did. And I guess we'll see how that played out. So, that's a tough gig. You don't want to be the rules guy. You're always wrong. So.
No, it's a really tough gig, man. I mean, and those are things that when, those conversations are had, you're just trying to get ahead of, and you want to avoid an arms race. You want to avoid seeing a whole bunch of racers spend a tremendous amount of money, making some wholesale change to their car only to have it outlawed or banned at some point in the future. I mean, there's so many things that you have to factor in. And it's like, when you've got this many cars that are prepared to buy whatever it takes, like if we've got to get this, we're going to go get it. And you see those things happening and you go, okay, we've got to try to curtail this. And it's a tough thing, but you know what? It comes with the territory, man. And I echo Mike's sentiments in that I think that we're about to see one painfully competitive drag race that's going to more than likely come down to the man or woman behind the wheel. I think you hit the nail on the head. You've got John Salemi, Jim Salemi in your corner. I don't know that you could ask for much better. They've proven that they can rise to the occasion in these moments. You've proven it time and time again, and we've seen the old Savage Corvette, showing up and showing out all throughout 2025 and here early in 26. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. Hey man, no one has ever won one of our races twice. I was running through the list, like dating back to Denver, our brief couple of years in Orlando. No one's ever won one of our events.
I don't think
twice.
anybody's even gotten close.
No,
maybe I think Ken Q last year was the closest. He won the first one. I think he was runner up in the second, right? If I'm not mistaken.
That's
correct. I think that's the only guy that's even come remotely close.
You're fighting 80 of the baddest drivers plus tuners. Everyone's so close. One loose bolt. That's how close it is. And then if you're 35 on the tree, or if the tuner just misses one little thing, you're done. That's what you're fighting. You can make a great run and still be going to the house. So
it really is incredible.
And another thing to keep in mind is you talked about this year and back during the summer. This man right here and this team, they're some big game hunters, and they won the Yellow Bullet Nationals. I think anytime that there's big money on the line, these huge events, I think that's when we see Steve and the pilot team, Salemi in his tuning brain trust. I think they step up during this time. So I certainly would not want to bet against you as being the first person to repeat this World Series of Pro Mod champion.
Well, I can tell you, Gene Pilot, when he got involved with us, he basically told us straightforward, I don't race for second place. And that's his mentality in business, life, everything. And he's not happy if he doesn't win. It's a business to him. We're going to run it accordingly. And I really think a lot of these teams, this whole deal has turned into a business, and the amount of time and effort. And I know the winter series, the 3 races, but we don't have an all season, and it takes a lot away from my business. I got to go away. John and them, obviously it is their business and there has to be performance there. But, Gene put together a great squad with myself and Jeff Miller, who's been, hard to believe that man's been with me for 25 years, and
what a world-class individual.
Right.
I love Jeff.
We got Chad Wright out there, turning wrenches, and my son's raced with me ever since we've been running Pro Mod, and he's 22 years old and he can do anything on that car. He's behind the scenes. He don't like anything, no pictures, no nothing. He's just one of those guys, but he's with me at every race. And, I could go to Gene Pilot. He wasn't even at the race last year. And when we won that race, we was all trying to get a hold of him. And the man's out in front of his house doing a burnout in his brand new SUV and tore the transmission out of it. He was so damn happy. It's unbelievable. He wouldn't even hardly answer the phone. I think he finally answered in the winner's circle.
It's crazy, dude. Last question, Steve, and I appreciate you spending some time with us on a Wednesday afternoon. But, one thing that we have seen rear its head throughout the winter series, but I don't think anywhere more so than the World Series of Pro Mod is, this sounds, like me being a promoter, but it's true. Pressure gets to some of these guys. Pressure burst pipes. And we have seen some uncharacteristically late starting line performances. We've seen some guys go red that never go red. Do you feel that having won this race and having been something of a veteran of the winter series, that you come into the 26 Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod with some real experience in that pressure cooker environment?
Yeah, I've been driving these things for many, many years, but I take pride in when it needs to happen, I need to make it happen as a driver, whether you got to pedal the car during tire shake or what. If you lose one of them races as a driver, you feel like you was the culprit. Or if you lose on a whole shot, it comes back to you. So if you go out there and you're good on the tree and the car don't perform, then we go to the next thing in line, but you win and lose as a team. But we win as a team, lose as a driver. That's how we operate, right? And it really is. It's you got to just step up to the plate. No different in the final. You roll up there and all the lights are on, the music's blaring, and 1,000 people on the starting line, and your heart's beating, and you got to take time. Like literally in that final, I reached up to the guys and I hit the radio. I said, you see all those people out there? That's a lot of people. And I really did. And once the car started up and the sea parted, then you just calm down and another day in the office and get the job done.
It is crazy, man. And don't worry, the tunes are coming back in a big way. Wes, I told him after the first 2 races, I said we would experiment with less audio. We would experiment. But I'm here to tell you that the experiment has run its course, and we're about to have my subs back. Because if I can't get down on the starting line and hear some tunes, if I'm not listening to Lil Wayne as loud as it'll go, we ain't drag racing. So anyways, I'm bringing my subs back for a World Series of Pro Mod. So I'm going to piss off some people, but we're going to have us a party down there.
Awesome. That's great stuff, and just that music really helps you in the car, I think, for me.
Dude, I mean,
Steve wants it back.
Do fighters
to make it like it was last year?
Fighters ain't walking to the ring in silence, right? I mean, it's a prize fight. If you're not fired up, we need everybody on the edge of their seats. We need people amped up. And I think that music really contributes to creating moments. It's everything. A first dance at a wedding. It's this singing the song during the 7th inning stretch at a baseball game. Like, music makes a difference. And I'm proud that we're kind of driving the bus on bringing music to the drag strip, because I'm not going to let off the pedal on that deal anytime soon. I get a couple of nasty text messages from some crotchety old drag racing fans every year that I was sitting and I couldn't hear anything over that god-awful rap music. I don't know what you're trying to do, but I want to hear the reaction. And I'm like, bro, this ain't the spot. Like, if you're coming to our event, we're going to listen to loud music. That's just what we do.
It's not a boomer-friendly zone.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a boomer-friendly zone.
But it's still the baddest. It's still the baddest race. It is by far the absolute baddest race with the baddest drivers. And it makes you – it's like being in the Super Bowl.
Bro, I appreciate. I hope you know how much it means to us, Steve, because we can't do any of this shit without guys like you, guys that have shared our vision for this sport, for Pro Mod, for what we're doing, and we are literally dust in the wind without this incredible group of racers, man. Yep. Without all these guys, yourself, and literally hundreds of others, we don't have a show. And I think that the magic happens when we are in this together. And I feel that from virtually every single one of you guys and gals. I see the enthusiasm on social media. I see the enthusiasm in person. I see the way you treat our fans. I think you guys all take a certain level of ownership over what's happening down there in Bradenton. And I see it. I see it when I'll see racers pick up trash. You know what I'm saying? I'll see all these little things that largely go unnoticed, but you see this and you go, you know what? This is like, these guys get it. They understand what we're building here and they want to contribute. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Steve. It means a lot to us, brother.
Believe me, I'm living a dream. I've been living a dream for a few years with Gene involved. And then the last year after winning that race, I'm still living a dream. Every day I wake up, it's a dream that I dreamed about sitting in English class, looking at a hot rod magazine inside my English book. And that's the God's honest truth. And I tell people that all the time. And this is a job and it's taken a lot away, but I'm living a dream. And you got to chase it. And Gene's allowed me to do that. And we're hooked up with the right people with John Salemi and those guys, and my regular guys with Chad, and all those guys are all right there with us. My son and Jeff Miller, and they're still here. We're still all together as a group, and that says a lot.
Well, I promise you, brother, we're just getting started.
About, man.
We're just getting started.
We'll try to keep that dream going in 2 weeks, man. In 2 weeks,
that's what we're coming for.
Get another year wearing the crown, man.
That's right. Don't forget, we got a live show down there.
Oh yeah,
just to have us on there.
Yep. We got a live show, 3 of them, which this will be the 3rd final one. So, promote your guys' race a little bit and help boost and bullshit over there at Pilot Racing Pro Mod on YouTube. So,
well, we'll be there, brother. Thank you, Steve. We'll see you in a couple of weeks, brother.
All right, guys. We'll see you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us, brother.
For everything.
Hey, guys, let me take a quick second and remind you that each and every episode of the Wes Buck Show is made possible by way of Redline Synthetic Oils, formulated to win, proven by you. We're talking about a brand trusted by the best in the business. Ty Tutterow, Steve Torrance, Callie Mills, Spencer Hyde, Scott Palmer, Tommy Franklin, the list goes on. These aren't just weekend warriors. These are champions, killers, and contenders who rely on Redline Oil to get it done. Formulated to win, proven by racers like you. Check out their full product lineup at redlineoil.com and give them some love being the presenting sponsor of the Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod. We have been hesitant to sell presenting rights to this particular race, looking for the right dance partner. Mark Beatty and the team at Redline have answered that call in spades. So excited to have their presence increase. I don't know if that's even possible, but to increase their presence at the Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod, man, it's going to be a banger.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Ready?
Hey, we've got a big one. This has been, I don't know if this is like real celebrity shit that's happening right now. I mean, this is
for sure, man. Camera ready. This dude's camera ready at all times.
I've got some butterflies. I've got some butterflies right now. I don't know if are we prepared for moments like this? I mean, this is the new driver for John Force Racing, JFR.
Big
right?
Time, man.
I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's been the talk of the last couple of months. We actually broke some of this news on dragillustrated.com. Really proud of that. We don't often get into the news breaking business, but we had some secret squirrel inside info and we just couldn't sit on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the new driver of the John Force Racing funny car, the one, the only, Jordan Vandergriff.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Hey, I'm the one with the butterflies here. I'm listening to the show. I'm listening in, watching you guys. I got butterflies, okay? So thank you for having me.
Oh, no, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. And shout out you guys, David Hart, the whole team you guys have at John Force Racing. Like, we've been lucky to have some great relationships there that have just developed over the years. And it's really cool to be able to make a moment like this happen so easily. So thank you for working with us, man. And I got to tell you, dude, as I still fancy myself a young guy. I don't know if Mike still wears that hat or not. Like, I like to believe I'm still a young guy.
We're borderline right now, buddy.
We're on the fringe of young guy territory, but we couldn't be happier for you, man. I've been a fan of yours since I first met you, saw you climb behind the wheel of a car, and saw you do what I think a lot of people have failed to do, is just stay in the game, however you had to do it. And I'm sure that it felt like somewhat of a sting to be like, yeah, I want to drive a race car, but I'll go interview other drivers and I'll go bebop around the pits and I'll stick a microphone in people's faces. But I got to tell you, man, staying present, staying visible, even on the sidelines, I have to believe it's that kind of grit and determination that has brought you to this moment where you've got a full-time opportunity to go drive inarguably the most competitive funny car on the planet Earth today for John Force Racing. I mean, congratulations, dude. I don't even know what more to say, but we're proud of you and we're fucking cheering you on, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a long journey for me. I think back to my rookie year back in 2019, being on your 30 under 30 list for Drag Illustrated. I think I look back to that and I think how big of a deal that was for me, and then where I've come, since then, all the things I've done in this sport. And you're right, I just wanted to be in the sport. I wanted to stay in it. I wanted to get my opportunity. I knew if I just stayed at it, I would maybe have an opportunity to drive again. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be wearing John Force Racing logo with Cornwall quality tools, but we're here now, and yeah, interviewing, staying in the sport, it's all helped me to get to this point that I'm at now, and I can't wait to get this season started. I cannot wait. I thank you guys for being excited for me. I'm way more excited. I'm ready to get this thing going.
No, that's awesome, man. So just take us through, like, I'm sure, like, I was there at PRI and I remember, like, they had the name covered up on the car, right? And I mean, I think the insiders kind of knew what was coming, but I'm just curious, can you kind of put us in your shoes for like that window of time where it wasn't common knowledge? I knew early on that a text had been sent, like the moment that things were happening. And I'm going, okay, this is great for drag racing. Like, we need more marketable, well-spoken, good young guys behind the wheel of these cars. This is an important thing. But what was it like? I guess let's go to the text message. What was the reaction like for you, or the phone call, when this possibility was first introduced to you?
Yeah, it was a shock. I think it was a shock for everybody. The news, that came right before that text message, it shocked everybody's system in this world. You had a guy who had driven this race car and won back-to-back championships, decides, to go somewhere else with his family. So, it came as a shock to me. I got a text message that said, hey, we need to get on the phone. And, I think it stems back to John and I having a relationship. It goes a few years back. I ended up testing one of his funny cars back in 2024 that we didn't really talk about at all. We had talks about me possibly joining John Force Racing over the last few years, and nobody really knew about any of that. It was just between me and him and the team. And, there were some other situations that just didn't work out. A lot of things happened in that time frame and that time period. And when the news broke that he was leaving, and I got a text message, I was like, first of all, it took me a second. I was like, whoa, that's crazy news, first of all. And then it was like, hold on a second. Maybe this is my shot. Maybe this is my opportunity. And from there, John and I had multiple conversations. It went from being, where I was pretty confident. I was like, okay, you know what? I got to be the guy, right? I think I'm top on this list. I got to be. And went from that to a couple days later being like, oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not who they're thinking about. It could be going a different way. And then a few days later, it kind of started trending back in my favor. So it was a whirlwind of emotions, but we're here now, and I'm very grateful that John decided to pick me.
What about
you? Yeah, go ahead.
I was before we segue there. What about the transition from a Top Fuel Dragster to a funny car? I think that was a question or something that was talked about a lot. I think maybe people even expected you to be in a dragster for John Force Racing, but to jump into this funny car. And you said you tested in one, but any reservations there, or any adjustment, or making that jump from what we know about the Top Fuel Dragster and how you drive one of those things versus the monster that these funny cars can be?
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. It's going to be different, right? It's going to be different. The dragsters, long wheelbase, they kind of glide through the air, and these funny cars, they want to do what they want to do, and they're a lot more violent, a lot more aggressive. And I had I was fortunate enough to test one a few years back, and we have a plan put in place with John Force Racing that's already began. So I'm getting a little more comfortable with this wheelbase. But yeah, it's going to be different. And I look at this 20 car category right now. It's the category, right? It's got so much competition, has a lot of great drivers, and I look at it as an opportunity for me to prove myself again. I proved myself at Top Fuel. I know I had limited experience, but I think I proved what I can do in that class and how I can drive those cars. And now coming into funny car, it's like, well, now I really got to prove myself, right? Like there's a lot of talent, a lot of great cars, great tuners in this class. It's like the class right now. And it's like, okay, if I can cut my chops in this class, then I belong in both, right? And I think for me, looking at this opportunity, it's a great opportunity for me because, how many people get the opportunity to compete in both classes, right? Funny car and Top Fuel. It's a very short list, and I'm looking forward to adding my name to that and doing very well.
Do you think that does John, I can't imagine operating in that man's shadow. That is something that's a conversation that I've had with Courtney, with Brittany, with Ashley, with pretty much anybody that's in his orbit, with all that he's accomplished in this larger than life persona. I'm sure there are nuances and challenges to that, but it's also what better kind of mentor could you possibly ask for across the board? In the boardroom, as a character, as a personality in our space, as a competitor in our space, as an ambassador in our space, has there been any knee slap, jaw dropping moments or nuggets of wisdom that he has already instilled upon you in this, very obviously early portion of this relationship? Yeah, no, I mean, guys, look, I'm driving a funny car for John Force at John Force Racing. I mean, the greatest funny car driver of all time. It doesn't even feel like, how is that even real? When you really think about it. And yeah, just being in his presence, I look at John as a guy who really just made himself in this sport, and he was the personality, and he built this empire. And I look at myself, and it's like, well, I want what John had, right? I want to be a big star in this sport. I want my own everything. I want it all. I want to be the personality, and the things I've done, and other things I've tried to kind of broaden my horizons, the audience that I get. And I look at John as just, he's the GOAT. He's the North Star that you look at. And just being able to talk to him, just the fact, just when my phone rings and it says John Force, right? And he's just calling me to talk to me about what we're planning on doing and what we're going to do. And he's giving me advice about driving. And just the other day he called and we were talking about the next steps. Testing is coming up this time next week. We'll be down in Florida, testing that funny car, and he was giving me some advice on just how to drive it, how to steer it, and just listening. It's like it's hard for me to. It's like I need to listen and hear what he's saying, but at the same time, it's like that's crazy that John's giving me advice on how to drive this thing. There's no better person to listen to with funny car. Yeah, and you're so right about, there's a couple things about John. Is one, I know that personally, every time I walk through the doors of John Force Racing, especially, I mean, both in Yorba Linda, but especially like the big sprawling facility in Brownsburg, all nice and new and organized and clean. And I walk in there and I can't help but be inspired. Like, just drag racing built this. I mean, there's a lot of big operators in our space, but a large majority of them have earned their wealth or earned their ability to race outside of our sport, right? They've got a gigantic construction company, or they have an oil field business, or they whatever, right? And to see it, to me, it literally is like a pinch me moment, and it's inspiring to go, drag racing built this. John Force built this himself in the sport of drag racing. And to me, that's inspiring. So I feel you, man. I have a lot of those same, like, I want what that man has. Like, that is an incredible thing. But you said something about his personality and the character. And I actually wrote an article about this recently, just talking about how, John Force never really asked for permission to become a star. Like, I know that there was a point in his life somewhere along the way, and we've talked about this before, but where he made that decision, like, I'm going to have to be that guy. I can't wait for the TV cameras come to me. I can't wait for the news stations to call me. I've got to go to them, or I've got to be newsworthy. I've got to be worthy of reporting on. What can you glean from that? Like, just about, like, I mean, you mentioned, the things that you've done. I mean, obviously one of the things we're talking about is your appearance on The Bachelor and putting yourself out on Fox Sports, and as far as the NHRA on Fox broadcast team. And like, what have you gleaned from that, or just looking back at his, incredible career, that you feel like you want to bring to the table? Because I would advise you, like, it can't be fake. I think we've seen some posers in this game. We've seen some guys trying to be someone they're not. But I can just tell, even in the handful of conversations that you and I have had, that this kid's the real deal. And everything he tells me is what he actually thinks and feels. Like, is that what you're going to try to bring to the table?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key is, John was just himself, right? He decided, genuinely, I'm going to be myself. You talk to John any point at any day, anywhere, he's John Force, right? And I think, and me working with the Fox Sports crew the last few years, I see from the TV side of things what you kind of need, what you kind of want. And I think, yeah, the most important thing is just be yourself. Don't try too hard. Don't be too fake about it, but just be yourself. You give your honest and thoughtful opinions on things and how you're feeling in the moment. And that's all he ever did. And that's all I ever want to do now. Like I said, having experience on the TV side of things, I get that. And I'm going to come into this, just try to be myself. Obviously, get the sponsor plugs in there and everything like that. Cornwall Quality Tools, see, right there, Cornwall Quality Tools. Get the sponsor plugs, but at the same time, just be yourself and live in the moment. That's what the fans want to, kind of feel what you're feeling in those moments. So give them it. Give them what you're feeling.
No, I think it's like, to me, I think that's like a really important thing. Like, just because you said it, I think that I've met a lot of racers over the years. Like, one of my favorite is the old pro mod guy, Shannon Jenkins. Like, I could always tell when he was turning on the Iceman. Like, I'd talk to him on the phone and I'd say, hey, I need to do an interview. And I could hear him take a drag off that Marlboro Light. And I could hear the Iceman come on. Right. And John has some moments like that too. He's pretty much the same, but you can tell when he's turned it on. And I think that there is, like, it's okay to, like, crank it a notch, right? Like, be a little more animated than you normally would be. But I do feel like we see some guys that try to be this larger than life character, and it kind of comes off clumsy and awkward and inauthentic. And you're going, I think that you've got it, man. I really, truly believe.
But I'd rather see that. I'd rather see people try and maybe it not work or whatever. We don't see enough even attempts to try to have a personality, set yourself apart. It's gotten very generic. But we talked a couple times about NHRA on Fox, NHRA brass, kind of leaning into some of these rivalries and some of the stuff that maybe they've shied away from in the past, and kind of embracing the raw elements, the human elements that are involved in drag racing more so than in the past. So I think that now is the time for that, like, for that approach. So definitely looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table from that perspective.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, we have a bunch of rivalries in our sport, right? And, and not to gloss over the fact, that I'm going to have a big rival out there next year, right? I think, might as well put it out there.
I was just getting ready to say it. Like, I'm telling you, man, thank God Austin isn't driving a Top Fuel car, because like, we've got we've got lightning in a bottle. Like the first time that Motorcraft Ford lines up against you in that Cornwell Tools Chevy, I mean, we've got a storyline on day one. And that is, I think that's fantastic news for everybody involved. Like that is in my opinion, and did somebody mute my mic?
No, you're back.
No, you're good.
Okay. Anyways, but I just think that is special. Did you learn anything during Fox, like about how, like, were you ever surprised when you were interviewing somebody? Like, come on, man, give me something, say something. Like, because I have to imagine being behind the scenes on that and like learning the TV part of this gave you some experience and training that is going to be infinitely valuable in 2026.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I did, the NHRA and Fox thing, did two things for me. I wanted to be back at the racetrack. I wanted to be in front of people's faces. I don't think I'd get this opportunity if I'm not doing NHRA and Fox. And part of it too was just, I wanted to learn everything about the sport. I want to be in NHRA. NHRA is my career, and I wanted to learn everything I could about it. And yeah, I'll be honest with you, when I was doing the reporting, you could ask some of the drivers, I would tell them before, like, hey, give me something here, don't if you feel you need to say something a certain way, just say how you feel, because that's what we need on the TV side, right? And I saw it from a different perspective, and you look at the other sports and the genuine emotions that they have in these other sports, and you could ask a few drivers. There was a few in particular. Every time I'd be like, hey, don't give me the cookie cutter stuff. Give me how you actually feel right now, and sometimes it would work. I think me being a driver too, doing that job, there was some familiarity with a lot of the drivers out there and some comfort. So I feel like they could open up to me a little bit more than maybe the other reporters, and I think we got some genuine emotion out of some people, and I got to put the mic away for now, but I'm super excited to grab the steering wheel again.
We're excited for you. What do you make of this NHRA Chasing Speed docu-series? I couldn't be I'm massively impressed by it. I think that this is a huge step in the right direction for the sport of drag racing. It's the NHRA kind of finally betting on the people. For 100 years, it seems, I guess actually 75, it's been where the cars are the stars, right? And I've always argued that. I've always felt vehemently opposed to that notion. I feel strongly that the stars of our sport are the men and women behind the wheel. And I love that NHRA has taken it upon themselves to self-produce and execute this incredible docu-series, highlighting all that behind the scenes stuff. We've seen 3 episodes so far that all have been fantastic. And we're getting some of that behind the scenes. Julie Natas talking about, all the comments that she gets on social media about just being a pretty face, and that's the only reason she's driving, or Erica Enders and Tanner Gray going back and forth on the top end after that hubbub they had whenever Tanner seemingly cut her off in the shutdown. Like, those are great moments that the fans need to see. What's your take on that project, and are you excited and hopefully being part of season 2?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I was part of NHRA and Fox this last year. I saw them filming everything, right? I was working closely with the documentary crew, and I saw the work that they put in and the hours they were filming and the things they were capturing. And as it was going on, I saw a trailer about halfway through the season last year, and I was like, wow, this is something. This is exactly what our sport needed. And it's the behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, the cars were the stars back then. I think at the time, that's what it should have been, right? Back when NHRA started, should have been the cars. These days, it's got to be the personalities, and we have so many of them. And I'm glad that we're shining light on those personalities and what it's like to really be a driver in this sport, right? I mean, it's so demanding physically, mentally, emotionally, and you're getting to see that, right? Like just like the last episode with Jasmine, or I can't wait to watch tonight. And see what I saw some little clips today with JR Todd and Antron. It's like, well, let's get into the minds of those guys, and I can't wait. I can't wait to watch. It's been great for our sport, and it's a great series. I can't wait to see the rest of the episodes. I think I might not have to wait till season 2, guys. I think I might be in this somewhere. You got to remember, I drove a little bit this year.
Yeah, true.
So yeah. I might make it this season. We'll see, but I'll definitely be in next season. That's for sure.
No, I mean, for me,
I gotta ask though. I gotta ask a question. So you obviously reached the highest points of your career, or the highest echelon of NHRA drag racing, driving for John Force and everything. But did you know? Well, we're big pro mod guys around here. Obviously, that's our thing. But did you know your uncle Bob was a crew guy on my dad's pro mod in the 1980s? You got to ask him about this. You gotta ask about that. He was like 20. He was probably early 20s, probably hanging around the track. And my dad probably just scooped him up because he was like, I need some help. Come on over here. But before you ever got into Top Fuel and anything, he was a crew guy on my dad's Pro Mod when they were running around the West Coast on the 80s. So I say that because you need to bug Bob about that. And
I'm seeing him tonight. So I'll let him
tell him Mike Carpenter said hello, and that I want to know some old Pro Mod stories, or let's get him to hit you with those. But speaking, Pro Mod, like, do you follow it at all? Do you keep up with anything kind of outside of your obviously NHRA and now the Nitro focus? Like how broad do you allow your focus to go on the sport of drag racing? And if you do follow Pro Mod, like what's your take on it? And could we possibly ever see you make this crossover like we've seen Antron, we've seen Erica Enders, we've seen a lot of NHRA stars make this jump to Pro Mod. Ida is kind of in the mix. Like, what's your whole perspective right now on Pro Mod?
Yeah, so well, being with the NHRA and Fox last year, I was more involved in every category than I had ever been before. Before growing up, I was just a Top Fuel guy, right? I watched my uncle in Top Fuel and he was racing, so that's I feel kind of it's like, oh, I'm just a Top Fuel guy. I only had to go to the track and watch Top Fuel. That was it. That was my uncle did. But now doing NHRA and Fox and learning about all the classes and Pro Mod coming in strong. I love Pro Mod. Look, Pro Mod to me is crazy. Okay, Pro Mod, and you guys are doing a great job promoting the cars and just being involved with Al Tucci this year, calling the Pro Mod races. He's a great guy, and I got to know him, learn a little bit from him. But I love Pro Mod. Honestly, I think Pro Mod is fantastic. I think that it's on the rise, and it's thanks to you guys, really, truly. I was just in Bradenton 2 weeks ago, right after your guys' race, and I was hearing stories about what you guys put on down there. And I think I was maybe even going to do some reporting for you. I think, Wes, that was in the conversation, but I've got this to do now. So
yeah, I know. We were super excited about it. I'm like, when that whole thing got pitched, I was like, hey man, if we can get Jordan Vandergriff like that, this is a big step in the right direction. So, but I'm cool with it. It's okay. Yeah. My boy's driving for John Force now.
He's got a good
right?
excuse.
My boy's driving for John Force now. So no sweat, man. But no, we got to get you down there because I do think that like we recognize the significance, the spectacle that is the platform that NHRA has provided and what NHRA Top Fuel and Funny Car means to the drag racing world. There is no doubt that it is the top of the mountain. But I love that we've kind of created this space for people from all walks of the drag racing life to come and compete against one another on a level playing field, right? Like that's, to me, I was actually just having a conversation this morning with Tom Bailey from Sick Week, the drag and drive legend. And I was pressuring him, like, what do we got to do to get you to take all the weight out of that car and come run with us at the Winter Series of the World Series of Pro Mod? Because that's, to me, that's part of the magic of what's happening in Bradenton is that we've got the stars of the NHRA, we've got the stars of the PDRA and all these outlaw door slammer series, but we have these crossover guys from different walks of the drag racing life, but they all come together a couple of times a year. And that's kind of our mantra or our belief, moving forward is that we want to bring in more people from these other points of our sport, because that's when the magic happens. The paths cross that rarely cross. People compete against each other that in no other venue would they be competing against each other. There's some real magic to it. I'm glad you're paying attention. And you're right, Al Tucci. Yeah, what a dude.
Fantastic. But yeah, Al Tucci, great guy, great voice, just awesome. But over the this has been a long journey for me to get to this point. Right now, I'm with John, and over the years, it's been 6 years since I drove the Top Fuel car my rookie year. Over those years, I was approached by a few people to possibly drive a Pro Mod, and I was always like, hey, I'll do it if you want me to give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Never materialized, but. Maybe one day. I've got a funny car to drive now, so I got to focus on that. I got to focus on that, but maybe one day.
Well, Pro Mod's all about weight, you're a slim guy, but you probably put on too much muscle. You're gonna,
he's way too jacked. Way too
jacked now.
He's wearing a jacket.
Driver. Possible.
It helps me grab the wheel. That's what I tell myself.
I saw him at the Motorplex back in October, and I'm like, homeboy's gotten like jacked and vascular, and he's all veiny. I'm like, what is Jordan eating? Straight horse meat? He's hanging out with Matt Hagen too much.
No. Hey, it's just about staying ready, guys. That was my mantra over these years. Though, for real though, like I think it was just, for me, I always knew that an opportunity might come, and I just wanted to be ready. You know, the Sean Reed stuff last year, I just wanted to be ready for it, you know, and I think, you know, fitness for me is something, stay ready, be ready. And as a driver, I think it can help. So, you know, I like to lift the weights around a little bit. Wes, you do too. Come on, man. I see you.
No, it's like
I don't.
Deion Sanders, right? Look good,
Yeah.
feel good, play good, pay good, right?
Exactly.
Like, it's just part of the deal, man. You got to do it, brother. So, well, hey, dude, we couldn't be more excited for you. Next week, obviously, going to be huge. The pro winter warm-up, so to speak, a multi-day test session down at Gainesville Raceway. Excited for that. Wish you nothing but the best, man, and I can't wait to see you at the drag strip soon. Be safe, good luck, and know that all of us here are cheering you all the way on.
I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. See you guys out there soon. Let's go.
Thanks, right, Jordan. Talk
tell
to you
Bob,
soon, brother.
Tell Bob I said what's up.
I will.
I said hi too. Thanks, guys. All right, man. What a deal. I got to run through a handful more things here, man. And then I saw, Mike, some comments in the chat that we'll dive into. But I do want to remind everybody that if it weren't for our friends at Strange Engineering, we may not be here. For more than 50 years, Strange Engineering has been a household name among racers and crew chiefs, supplying hardcore racing and performance street driveline and suspension components that flat out get the job done. From rear ends and axles to brake struts and shocks, if it's under the car and it matters, Strange has you covered. Don't just race Strange. Learn more at strangeengineering.net. Excited to hear from Jordan. Like, dude, that was a good high end. I think this kid's got it, Mike. I think that this is a great thing for the sport of drag racing. It truly is.
I think so. I really think that, and we talked to a lot of people that kind of agreed that of all the names that were out there, that he ticked all the boxes. Like, he was the guy that was sitting there ready to go. And I think he proved that with the Sean Reed deal, where he stepped in and what did he qualify second at like the first race that he filled in, and had some success there. And I really think that he's another one of these young faces and like gets it. And like, it's better. I mean, I don't want to, piss people off or whatever, but it's better to stick somebody like that in there and give him the opportunity than like a retread that's like 50 something years old or whatever.
I was genuinely worried about it, Michael.
Run its course. And I think that that's a really good deal. And I want to say too, that it's hard. Like, we've all worn different hats in drag racing. And I've kind of felt some of this too, now that I no longer am racing with my dad. Like, you sometimes feel like a fish out of water. Like, when you're known for one thing, like if you're a driver, you're a driver. And then now if it can kind of feel like you're taking a step down to now you're an interviewer interviewing the drivers that are in the position that you wanted to be in, or you want to be in. And you're trying to stay out there, you're trying to do these things, but you can feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I think that's why you see a lot of people not take those opportunities. And they're like, well, I'm just not even coming to the racetrack until I get my next 5-year contract to be the driver for John Force Racing or whatever. But he's an example of, having some humility, putting yourself, ultimately he wanted to be back in the driver's seat, but he thought this was the best way to stay out there and to be on Fox, to be, being out there is so key. And I think that he knew that probably from the advice of Bob Vandergriff and other people that have been around him through his career, that was the way to do it. And I think that immediately paid off. So to anybody out there that, you're not where you want to be right now, don't hide in the shadows and wait for the opportunity to fall in your lap. You got to get out there and get in where you fit in, find other opportunities, because one thing will lead to another. So that's
what do they say? Like, out of sight, out of mind. I mean, that is one of the things that I look at some of these guys that have lost a sponsorship and kind of, fell into obscurity, and you didn't see him at the races anymore. And I agree with you, man. I give Jordan a lot of credit for having the humility required to take that kind of, I'm sure it felt like a step down, but it was an important thing to stay visible, to stay in front of these people, to stay engaged, to stay active in the community. And I've seen a lot of racers opt not to do that and pay the price for it. And I want to say that I think you nailed it with you said you don't want to piss anybody off. And there's some guys that are on the sidelines that we'd love to see back in the mix, but the sport didn't really need a retread. It didn't need another guy that had, been bounced around from team to team to team for years. We needed the next crop, the next evolution. And I'm excited for Honestly, what I'm most excited about is when Austin Prock and Jordan Vandergriff pull him into the beams. Like,
we didn't even bring that up. He brought it up, which I think
if the good Lord's willing, it's going to happen at the Gator Nationals. How cool would it be to see it in the final? Yeah, we got to get Austin on here. Because hey man, there's a lot of storylines, and they collectively will have made a mistake and or missed an opportunity if they don't lean into this moment. You don't get, I mean, it's no different than, I love my stick and ball references, right? And analogies. Like, it's a big deal when Luka comes back to Dallas, right? It's a big deal when LeBron goes back to Cleveland, or when those teams play each other, et cetera. Like, you got to lean into those moments. And I'm excited to see what the NHRA has in store, because I do think that there's kind of a newfound energy amongst the NHRA brass for, kind of letting it all hang out. I mean, we've seen it. I know I've been blown away by the candor on display during the Chasing Speed docu-series. Like, there was some stuff that
NHRA get caught up on it. I'll admit, we've been so damn busy. I haven't, dedicated any time to watching it. I caught a little chunk of the latest episode, but I want to go back and start from episode 1.
There's some stuff in there that I think NHRA of old would never have allowed to go to air with their logo affiliated with it, or with their brand affiliated with it. Not that it's like super off color, but it's just very candid and it's very real. And that's really, to me, that's the top of the funnel. Like, you capture people's attention with that emotion, with that behind the scenes. Like, putting on great races, unfortunately, is just not enough in this day and age. It takes more than that. It takes all these layers, and I'm glad to see NHRA finally embrace it. Mike, as we get down to the final little stretch here of the show, let's take a few questions. I've seen a few pop in. One that I wanted to answer. There's another one, a great one from Clint. But I wanted to scroll up here a little bit. Andy Jackson asks, with the recent debate regarding the timing boards on or off during testing, who makes this call? Is it yourself, Wes, the promoter, track owner, Vic, or Wade? It's 100% on me, friends. And I just want to, seems to be like a much talked about topic, but it's not going to change. So it is my belief this is private testing. We are under no obligation to air this at all. Historically, we have not.
I thought he was talking about the no time.
No, he's talking about during testing.
Put it back up there. Oh, no, I found it.
Yeah, debate regarding the timing boards on or off for testing. Gotcha. And we absolutely will not turn the scoreboards on during testing. For us, it serves a multitude of purposes, and I'll just answer concisely. I love the air of mystery and intrigue that it creates. Like, if the scoreboards were on, we would not have this debate. We would not have this hotly contested thing. And again, it's private testing. It's scheduled as private testing. We treat it no different than if the race teams came there and rented the track. We give them that privacy.
What it's supposed to be.
Which is what it's supposed to be.
Not to derail you, but just to jump in there. First off, the whole idea that we even have to broadcast testing is kind of insane to begin with, because it is private testing. It's like, there's probably some teams testing at BMP right now. Are we supposed to have a camera down there, full production for testing with the boards on? No. But I get it, and I'm glad that the attention is so high that people want to watch the testing. I want to watch the testing too, for sure. But the expectation to even broadcast the testing at all is kind of a wild notion to begin with. But then for the boards to be on also and kind of expose the secrets of these teams as they test is an even crazier notion. So to me,
well,
you really don't have to defend it at all, because
right.
You need to go back to square one and realize there's really no like precedent that we should have to broadcast testing, period. Or
right.
should.
And it is identified to the racers and to everybody involved as private testing. I find it would be akin to letting, Jake Paul letting his opponents into his training facility to see what he's working on, right? I mean, it's just, we know they're all there and there's going to be talk amongst the pits, but I'll tell you, if you have been, which this is to me part of the magic of the live event experience, if you have been to any winter series race the last 2 years, you will feel that energy the moment you walk through the doors. There is a street race air that is happening during testing. All the teams are lying to one another. There's a bunch of BS going around. There's assumptions being thrown around left and right. That looked fast. That car's mean down low. All these things are being said. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And for us, it really, really, really makes it fun for us and for, I believe, the fans to let everyone find out what everybody's running at the same time. I think it would detract from the storyline. Like, just say as an example, Jimmy Taylor was down testing for the World Series of Pro Mod, and he went 349 on Monday, right? It would, to me, that would detract, right? Because then you're going to have the storyline being, oh, this guy's got everybody covered. He's got everybody covered by 4 or 5 numbers, blah, 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 blah. That is not the storyline. That's not the story I want to tell. The story I want to tell is we're going to light these boards for the first round of qualifying on Thursday, and we're all going to find out who's holding what. We're going to see everybody's hand at the same time. And there's magic to that. And again, to Mike's point earlier, it's private testing. I made a couple of posts.
The race starts Thursday or Friday. I mean,
yes.
It's really, that's it. The race starts Thursday or Friday. Everything else is kind of a bonus if you're getting to see it. So I think it's 100%. Really that simple.
Because I got to be honest, we've had some really, serious talks internally about not airing testing. I think a strong case can be made for it. I know that, a lot of these guys are out there trying things. They're taking big swings. They're trying new parts. They're experimenting, and they don't necessarily need the world to see those things. They don't need everybody to see them go out there and mess up or tear something up. So anyways, I think that, forever testing will be a no time affair. And just so you know, for the detailed oriented people out there, our teams get time slips. So they're obviously gaining data, but that's their data. We've had drivers immediately post their time slips from testing on social media. That's great if that's what they choose to do, but I feel that they are under no obligation to show their times during testing, so we do not show them. There was another question. Chadwick from the Yard House in Bradenton is asking, are the jet cars going to be back at World Series of Pro Mod? Yes. Locked this deal in this week. We were scrambling for some high quality jet cars. Larson Motorsports came to the rescue for us, and we will have 2 jet dragsters at the World Series of Pro Mod. Super excited about this. I'm a big believer in exhibition drag racing. I think there's a tremendous amount of value that these cars provide, these drivers provide. They're some of the last real true showmen that exist in our sport, and I'm super glad to have them. I think it's going to be a great way to end the night. Fireworks, pyro, and jet cars as we bring the World Series of Pro Mod 2026 to a close. One more question I see from Clint. Mike, I'll throw this to you immediately, and I'll go as well. But thoughts on Tyler Crossno last night? Breaking news.
Me the hard one.
Okay, I'll answer it. I'll go first.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Breaking news, new news, as they would say on what's the kid's name? Travis Kelce and Jason Kelsey's podcast. New news. Tyler Crossno
I don't watch anything with Travis Kelce.
I don't either. Oh yeah. Well, my wife watched it.
I was so watching for JT's.
Dude,
JT gave an NSFW reaction to that.
Yeah. New news. Tyler Crossno last night officially resigned from his post at Virginia Motorsports Park. Thoughts? Initial reaction?
Man, it's first off, he posted he's been there since 2018, which is just crazy to think that. I mean, that's been 8 years ago now. And Tyler's still a young, it makes me feel old. And Tyler's now in his mid 30s, but I mean, such a young guy that's done so much and been kind of around the world at this point. And I think he's going to be a hot commodity. I think that's, a guy that the work ethic, the amount of stuff that he did, the hats that he wears. We talk about wearing a lot of hats. A guy that obviously ran VMP, ran PDRA, will continue to run PDRA, right? From my understanding, so this is just the VMP role. So a guy that's got the capacity to do both, and I think will be not on the market long. I know that he posted that he's still working to figure out what the next steps will be, but I don't think that that's going to take him very long.
Yeah, I think that this is, I agree with you, Mike. Super just kind of surreal. I guess I also failed to realize that he'd been at VMP for that long. that still seems pretty fresh to me. And I think about how young he was when he accepted that role, 25, 26 years old, to be the general manager of what became an NHRA national event track. Like, that's a big bite for anybody, let alone a young man. So I'm super proud of Tyler. I mean, he was a member of our Drag Illustrated 30 Under 30. We've done multiple stories about him in the magazine and developed a really close relationship with him. I'm excited for whatever comes next for Tyler, but I will just put this out there that I really think what comes next for Tyler is a 100% focus on the PDRA. I think that the PDRA has a great thing. We've attended their banquet every year for the last, I don't know, decade. And I always leave that banquet at PRI just being amazed by the community that they have built.
Well, and Tyler kills it at that banquet too. As the host of that banquet, that's another hat he wears. And, you know, shout out to everyone involved. The whole PDRA staff kills it at that banquet. That's another thing. At the end of the season, after a long season, they do this amazing banquet. If you've never been, I've never been to one that's more.
It's the best banquet in drag
thorough,
race.
yeah, planned. I mean, it's just shout out to Judy. I know she heads up that whole deal, but everybody from Will Smith to
Crystal, Gary Rowe,
yeah,
everybody that does this. I mean, and I really think that's, if I was the guy making that decision, it would be like, Tyler, the opportunity, this has swung the door open for you to focus all your energy and effort on the PDRA. There has never been a time, in my opinion, that is more important than right now. And I just feel like what they have going with Pro Boost, Pro Nitrous, they've got their schedule out. Things are looking good. There's a lot of interest. I think there's a lot of excitement around it. I just think that's where I hope he lands, is just saying, you know what, I'm going to put all my eggs in this basket. I'm going to even further dedicate myself to this than I already have been, because we all know what it's like to be serving multiple masters. And while there are people, and I think Tyler falls into this category, that are able to do those things extremely well, a singular focus would serve Tyler very well, in my opinion. And I hope that's what happens. But I'm with you. I don't think Tyler's the type of guy, he's not the caliber of person or operator in our space that's going to be, looking for work long. I think there's dozens of tracks across the country that would be thrilled just for his prep knowledge and track operation knowledge alone, let alone his other abilities to, create copy and do graphic design and write rules and all these things that he knows how to do that are not easy. He's going to be a very valuable guy, but very interesting. I think that, as the world kind of continues to turn here in drag racing, I mean, we saw there's tons of just movement in this space. I don't know that remember a time that there's been this much movement in this space. Tracks being purchased, tracks potentially being reopened. We obviously saw big news this week that at least preliminarily, the county there on Commerce, Georgia, has approved race use for what was Atlanta Dragway, which is now a shell of its former self, and will require obviously a significant capital investment to get it back to operational capacity. But there's a lot happening in the space right now, for sure, and it's going to be interesting to see where all these people land.
As we start to prepare for the show every week, I started to think like earlier in the week, like what's kind of the theme or what's going on right now. And I did have that same thought that there's just a lot of movement, people moving. We talked to obviously Jordan Vandergriff today. That's kind of a headline of that kind of movement, the silly season, but not only the tracks, the sanctioning bodies, the organizations, a lot going on, obviously, with our series. We talk about guys moving combinations, like even down to little details like that. There's just nobody's staying still. Everybody is moving and shaking right now, and I think that's a good thing. I think it's healthy. I think it's a kind of a reinvigoration of the sport on many levels. So I think that a lot of this movement is healthy.
I couldn't agree more, man. It's unsettling at times, right? I mean, I'll be honest and say that, like, you see these wholesale changes happening, or you see these facilities change hands, or you see somebody that's been in a spot for a long time and now they're not there anymore. And it's like, what is happening? But movement is good. I think that's that maybe something our sports needed, right? Like just some movement. I'm okay with it, right? And I think that the cream rises to the top, the market speaks, and all these things will be sorted out over time. But best of luck. A closing commentary on Tyler Crossno's future. I know that there's the kid's got the world by the tail. So whatever he wants to do next, he's going to be able to do next. I don't know. Do we have any other questions out there? Or I think that's all of them.
Yeah, I didn't see any.
Billy Carroll, had the numbers on during testing, a 10th or two to add some anxiety. That'd be hilarious. Can you imagine if Stevie Jackson went out there and clicked off what he thought was like a 355, but he gets a time slip that says 365? That'd be hilarious. Oh my goodness. Josh Peak in the house. What's up, Josh? Billy, saw Billy, great group of guys. Yeah, man. World Series of Pro Mod coming up February 26th through 28th, 2006 at the house Victor Alvarez built Bradenton Motorsports Park. We'll be there along with Red Line Oil to put on the biggest, richest Pro Mod drag race in the history of the known universe. We've actually had to add inventory to our ticketing. Partners at the FOAT have had to add inventory to our ticketing offering because we are selling out of tickets. So get yours now. To me, that was something I was really proud of when I woke up yesterday, Monday morning it was, and saw that we had some segments of tickets that had completely sold out. And that was,
I saw today the RV, Premier RV is sold out. So if you're wanting to get an RV pass, the standard RV pass is still available, but I know those are limited as well. So yeah, there's a lot of offerings on there, and we do have a lot of options, but several of them are close to selling out.
Oh, dude, to me, like this, being able to say the word sellout and not be lying is really exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because promoters going to do promoter shit, right? Like we've heard that, like we've seen it. I mean, I've had a front row seat to this stuff for a long time, and I've heard promoters say things that I just know are bullshit. But it's like when I woke up Monday morning and I get those reports from the FOAT, shout out to Michael and everybody at thefoat.com. I have developed a really good relationship with these people and am proud to work with them. And we get a report daily on ticketing, sales and whatnot and reporting. And I look this up and it shows me that like one of the VIP packages, our primary VIP package, completely sold out. Premier parking, RV parking, completely sold out. And I'm going, it's insane. I mean, to me, this is what I've always dreamed of, is being able to sell out a drag race. And it feels very much like we're trending that direction. Couple of notes that I want to close with. One, don't forget the Strange Engineering Racer Appreciation Party going down Thursday night immediately following qualifying at Bradenton Motorsports Park. We will have beer from Outlaw Light Beer coming on board. We got a major announcement coming with Outlaw Light Beer yet this week. We'll drop that news tomorrow. But we'll have Outlaw Beer in the VIP tent. We'll have Outlaw Beer for all of our racers and every crew members and everybody. Please come be a part of this. Incredible Mexican food from Poblano's Mexican Bar and Grill. My friend Jorge that we've developed down there in Bradenton will be feeding everybody gourmet Mexican food. Probably my favorite, second favorite place to eat in the Bradenton area, because I have to give a shout out to Rich, Chadwick, Sarah, the whole gang at Yard House in Bradenton there at University Town Center. We are going to be hosting our first ever Drag Illustrated World Series of Pro Mod kickoff party Wednesday night, which is open to everyone, fans, friends, the like. Wednesday night, the 25th at Yard House there in Bradenton. We'd love to have you. It's kind of the epicenter of the area there at University Town Center. We've got a lot of our racer hotels are right around the area. I mean, there's a couple that are within walking distance, definitely a short drive. We'd love to have everybody come out. Huge shout out to Lori Frazier and her team at Motorsports Travel for stepping up, making this party a reality. We're going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of Drag Illustrated that night. So we're going to have some cake. We're going to have some food. We're going to have some cocktails, and we're going to have Pro Mods on display. We're going to have at least 2 Pro Mod cars on display. Billy Banica's car, one of the Scott Tidwell Racing Team's cars, will be on the property on display. We're going to help the Yard House open their brand new beer garden and pergola. Super excited about that, man. Wednesday night, it's party. We're going to party on Wednesday night. We're going to party on Thursday night. And then we're going to party all weekend long while we get down on the drag strip on the Outlaw 8th Mile there at Bradenton Motorsports Park. So
we're going to have some of these guys worn out before we even get to qualifying. Especially if JT has anything to say. Just a word of wisdom. Like if you want to come to these parties, that's great, but just don't hang out with JT for too long. Get on back to your toter home, get a good night's sleep. We don't want to hear about any issues you're having on the tree due to these racer parties.
On him.
JT's starting to tune. He's starting to tune. He's starting to do a lot of tuning. He started tuning on drivers.
Tell us your story. Tell Tell us what Mark Ingersoll said to you one time.
He called me in one day and he sat me down and he said, "What'd you do to my guys last night?" or something like that. And I was like, "Man, they're grown men, like shit. I didn't do nothing,
What he said? He said, "Stay the F away from my drivers."
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, and then Freeman walked by and I said, "Hey, when did I get to tune on one of these cars? Didn't you say I could tune on something?" And he looked up, and then Mark looked over at me and looked all crazy. I go, "Well, I've been tuning on your guys all week. I might as well start with cars."
Oh, JC, I still can't get over the
true.
haircut, bro. I feel like I'm looking in a mirror. You know what I mean? Like this, just you ripped my haircut off.
It's not near
you're not.
You just don't have enough product in it. Like
I didn't know you had a patent on possibly the most standard male white male mid 30s late 40s haircut in the world. Yeah, it is. Maybe not. Yeah, that's a pretty standard go-to, I would say.
I don't know. I think I invented it.
But of course you would.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain. I'm going to go full Blake Bowser.
That hairstyle.
I'm going to go full Blake Bowser and trademark it. You know what I mean? I'm going to get a patent on this. Last thing, guys, thank you so much for joining me.
Not be there very long.
Yeah, true. And I did want somebody in the comments is asking Mark Mickey going to Hart's Charger. We answered this earlier. Yes, Justin Justy 6109. Mark Mickey has officially switched to a centrifugal supercharger. Of course, I'm talking about the Hart's Charger. He's part of the Hart's Charger camp. Always has ran, or at least for the last several seasons, ran Hart turbochargers. Made the big switch courtesy of our longtime friend of Drag Illustrated, Blake Housley. Anxious to see.
I don't know how to feel about it. I really don't.
It's
I mean, I totally get it. I'm not faulting him, but
yeah, I don't fault him at all.
We love to see these different combinations, and I mean, I get it, but certainly something that
everything goes in phases, though. Guys.
Yeah, it does. Everything ebbs and flows, but it's something that we're going to keep an eye on for next season because we're big on diversity of these combos in World Series of Pro Mod. I think it's a bit, or in the Winter Series. I think it's a big part of it, and we're seeing everything kind of converge into 2 power adders at this point. So definitely something to keep an eye on.
Agreed. And I, as far as I'm concerned, the turbo cars aren't going anywhere. I mean, I think it's always been kind of a boutique combination. It requires like some real brain power. It requires a substantial amount of time on track. Not a combination that's going to respond well to racing infrequently. So, the guys who have done well with it, Mark Mickey, perhaps more so than anyone else on the planet, Jimmy Taylor, of course, but these are some guys that have raced a lot. And, I think when the level of competition has just reached a point that raceability and repeatability has become more important than ever. The hero ball that we used to see kind of prevalent in Pro Modified, not as quite as much of a factor as it once was. So yeah, man, I think to me, as much as I want the diversity to be there, dude, it's not about the cars. It's about these drivers. It's about these personalities.
We say for sure. But at the same time, I do think it's a cool thing that we've been able to kind 100%. Of maintain, but the racers are going to racer, and it's slowly evade your grasp, and it's going to go this direction. But you definitely don't want to see these other combinations go away. So we'll see what people that are probably smarter than us can offer up.
Definitely smarter than us,
and the Snowbirds next year, because it's something that I think that we definitely want to keep in the mix.
I agree, man. Well, dude, huge shout out to Blake Bowser, Steve King, and of course, Jordan Vandergriff for joining us today on the show. I appreciate their time. I know we all do. And of course, most importantly, we appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us. I can't tell you how much we enjoy getting to talk about drag racing and call it work. It's a crazy thing, man. And we can't wait to see you next Wednesday right here on the Drag Illustrated YouTube channel. Remember, help us spread the gospel of drag racing. Click like, click share, click subscribe. Join the movement to take this sport to its rightful place in the motorsports world at the tippy top. And we appreciate it greatly. And Mike, thanks a bunch, buddy. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.